So there were a lot of things that I was aware of for years and years that were starting to go wrong inside my body. I could kind of feel it in there, but I didn't know what it was. And it's hard to get MRIs. They're very, very expensive. And so it wasn't until the spinal injury that I was able to see that something was wrong.
Wow.
And I remember when I first got those MRI results, I cried. I cried and cried, and then I just thought, I started realizing that maybe veganism was the reason.
Wow.
Maybe veganism did this to me. And then I was pissed. I was really, and this is another thing you'll see in ex-vegans, right?
Unknown caller.
Haven't you seen this in yourself and others? When you realize that veganism might have been the reason you're sick, you're angry.
Yeah.
You feel betrayed. I was pissed. I was really, really angry, and I formed this Twitter profile, Recovering Vegan, and I chose that name to spur the moment. I just felt like an addict, like an alcoholic that was recovering. I was recovering from this eating disorder, the psychological disorder of veganism. I was starting to form this idea in my head at that time that there was something really wrong with this programming that we all had that was telling us to voluntarily harm ourselves, right? And here I was, very, very, very sick, in so much all over body pain, and visiting doctors 3 times a week for physical therapy, and going through laser treatments, cold laser therapy, physical therapy, barely able to walk from my car to the doctor's office, seeing all these people coming in there with wheelchairs, and then discovering that I had MS, that I had ankylosing spondylitis, that I had multiple autoimmune diseases in the spine, right? So where did this all come from? So I started following doctors. I started following people like you. I started following Sally Norton. I started following Paul Saladino and Sean Baker, following different people in the keto community, mainly because a disabled girlfriend of mine told me that there were people who were having some success with the keto diet if they had pain.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and then there was a friend of mine on Facebook who said that he was having some success with eating an all meat diet for his pain. And that just seemed so repulsive and gross. you know, that eating meat or eggs or fish was hard enough, but just the thought of eating nothing but meat seemed really disgusting at that time. So it's really been a process. I mean, it's taken me over, since that first bite of meat, it's taken me almost 4 years
Wow.
to get to the point where I'm eating a carnivore diet.
Yeah, which you started on World Carnivore Month, which was January of 2023. Um, and yeah, you said you had some adjusting, which is really uncomfortable. There was one time that you and I were messaging, and you were talking about the gunk buildup on your teeth. Like,
Still
holy,
have
that
it.
oxalate, yeah, that oxalate, that's one of the ways it comes out. And that's the tricky thing about consuming oxalates is you have to be so careful, not only consuming them, but the way you back off of them, because when they come out, they're going to come out maybe more violently than they went in, and it might be completely different symptoms that you might not even know about. So it's
Or
crazy to hear about that.
the same symptoms all over again.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I was re-experiencing the symptoms that I had years ago when I was on the all smoothie green diet, and those things would happen to my body. And I thought, my friends would say, "You're detoxing.
Right. Yeah.
Go more
Such a
vegan. Be more vegan. Try water fast. Try
be a
drinking your own
fruitarian.
urine. Maybe if you drink your urine. I remember, okay, you want to hear some bad vegan stories? I went on a date once when I was a vegan with a vegan guy, and he said, "Can we go back to my hotel room quickly? I just need to do something." And I'm like, this is a weird pickup line. And he pulled out this giant stainless steel bowl and he peed in it and he drank it in front of me.
In front of you.
And he says, "Oh, and I also put it on my hair." And then he told me he was like 70 years old or some incredibly advanced stage. And he literally looked like a teenager. I mean, he looked so weirdly, bizarrely young for his age that it was almost, it was strange. But he was very, very thin. And he had dark hair. But yeah, he did kind of smell like urine, and that was the last date I had with that guy.
Wow. No
But
second date.
right before you go out to dinner, he's having a
Oh,
or go to a concert or something. Gross.
wow. Wow.
Anyway, and now I'm, reading about, I mean, urine therapy is another thing. It's just absolute BS.
Wow.
I mean, once
Yeah.
we know about oxalate and the detoxing that you go through when you're detoxing oxalate, which is it's largely through the urine,
Yeah.
you certainly don't want to be drinking that back.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
Not.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so obviously, again, there was an adjustment period. How long did that adjustment period take? What things did you suffer through in the beginning as you switched over to a full carnivore diet? And then what sort of benefits have you noted since the adjustment period?
Okay, so I started on January 1, and I made this blithe, it was just totally in passing. I wrote on Twitter, well, I'm thinking of trying World Carnivore Month. And I went viral, and my post reached 275,000 people. And I just thought, oh, dang, now I really have to do this. I can't go back on my New Year's resolution with the whole world watching me, right? I've got to do this. And it really forced me to stick with it because the first couple of days were horrible. It was because I had eaten so much oxalate, the all oxalate diet for 18 years of daily green smoothies. Um, the detoxing was extreme at first. I don't think most people would experience this. There was only one other woman I connected with on Twitter who was having the same problem, and she was also a former long-term vegan who had done a lot of superfoods and smoothies. And I had received coaching behind the scenes from Sally Norton and Monique Ottinger, and from also the head of Weston Price, from you, from several other oxalate coaches on Twitter who were guiding me and giving me pep talks behind the scene and telling me to stick with it, don't give up. But I had diarrhea literally 10 times a day.
Yeah.
I was running to the bathroom, and I thought I've been helping caretake my mother, who recently had C. difficile bacteria and has had a lot of intestinal infections and sepsis and stuff. And I thought maybe I'd caught this from my mother or caught it in one of the nursing homes. I was ready to go to the ER. I was
Wow.
really worried. And it was through the coaching that I got from other people in the carnivore community. They said, well, have a little bit of oxalate and slow it down.
Mm.
So a handful of blueberries, continue drinking coffee or have a cup of tea, do something high oxalate to help slow it down. And that did help. But I
Good.
really was committed to getting this stuff out of my body. And I was really hardcore at first. I was really trying hard to do everything right. And I was making my own bone broth with marrow bones, and then saving the fat from it to use to cook with, making my own cooking fats. I was eating a steak almost every day. And then I started, I mean, I just kept experimenting with different combinations of food to find what would work with my body. And you know, it's funny that the standard carnivore diet, right? You hear people eat beef, bacon, ruminant meat, eggs, butter, and sometimes raw dairy, and lots of salt. And occasionally, carnivores also drink coffee with a lot of fat in it. And lo and behold, I tried all different things. I tried shrimp, I tried crab, I tried all different kinds of fish, I tried different kinds of duck, of poultry, chicken, turkey, uh, different pork. But in the end, what makes me feel best is eating the standard carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Ruminant
It's,
meat,
yeah.
right? It seems to work best. Like just a couple hours ago before this show, I had a bison steak, a bison ribeye, which I cooked in bacon fat, and I feel fantastic.